interview guests on your podcast? Do you generally do it online? Are you wondering what platform is best? If so, this episode is for you. Hi, I'm Olivia and I help entrepreneurs attract their dream clients and get their message out into the world so they can make the impact they are here to make and create the income they desire. Let's get into it. Hey, my name is Olivia D'Souza. I'm dedicated to helping multi-passionate entrepreneurs turn their dreams into reality by building a career and a life they love and making a positive impact in the world. I'm a podcast and social media manager, a singer-songwriter, a kids music creator, a fadishta, a wife and a mum. I'm the secret weapon behind many 6 and 7 figure entrepreneurs, helping them shine a light and call in the people they are here to serve. And now I'm here to help you. This podcast is here to help you learn and be inspired. You'll learn about podcasting, lead generation, business, and all about the real life stories of people behind the businesses just like you. Think of it as a place to hang out with your like-minded business bestie who gets what it's like. So grab a cuppa and hit subscribe so we can hang out again. This is Magnetic Pod, the podcast.
I am here and I'm ready to be brave. Cannot miss me, I'll stand on every stage. I'm available for my destiny to reach my people. Gonna be a star, so if you pass on me.
Hey friend, before we dive into today's episode, remember to hit subscribe so you don't miss any of the tips we share in Magnetic Pod on podcasting, lead generation, and business boosting ideas. And remember, if you have or you're thinking about starting a podcast, head over to my website at livymusicmedia.com/freebies. I have loads and loads of free resources and templates that will help you get started. The link is in my show notes. Now, here's your show. Before we dive into it, remember to subscribe so you don't miss any more tips and tricks on podcasting, YouTube, and lead generation. Okay, so I have experimented with a few different platforms and I have spoken to other people about their experiences, and here is what I found. If you are going to have a podcast, you have a few different options. You have Zoom, Zencaster, Ecamm, Riverside, StreamYard, Squadcast, and lots more. So I have not used every single platform. I'm going to go through the ones that I have tried and the ones I'm familiar with and share my experience with you. Okay, so first of all, Zoom. Zoom is the most widely known, widely used platform. It is not a podcasting platform. It is not the best quality. In fact, I have heard podcast producers say that if you're invited onto a podcast and they're using Zoom, decline or tell them to use a different platform. I think that's going a bit over the top, really. But I agree that it's not the best quality platform. However, I have had plenty of clients who use Zoom because they just already have an account with it. They can't be bothered learning about another platform. And they put out good quality content that people listen to, and nobody is thinking about how the quality could be better. It's only podcast producers and audio producers and some people who just have that inclination to just really, really love the beautiful, best quality sound you can get. But the general population, a lot of people don't care and not paying that close attention. Now, that's probably a controversial thing to say. I think, people will say that you should have certain standards, and by all means, if you want to have the best standard you can, and you should, yeah, and I think definitely as you go along in your podcasting journey, improve things as you go. But I think you can also be a little bit precious if you turn down a podcast interview just because it was on Zoom. So here's my tips on Zoom. If you are doing it on Zoom, the thing is it does produce an MP3 that is compressed. It's not the best quality audio, but what you can do to make it as good as you can is to be using a good quality microphone and to go into the settings, and you can go into the settings, you can find an area where you can click on making separate audio tracks. Now that is something you should do no matter what platform you're using. If you have separate audio tracks, that can make a big difference in the quality of the sound that you end up with and the scope that your audio engineer, if you're using one, has to fix any problems that come up, because sometimes what happens is one person's volume is up high and the other person's is down low, and then the person editing will have to try and raise the volume of the person who's, if they're a bit quiet, but in doing that they might also affect the sound of the noise in the room, and if that track is the same track that the other person's on, it just limits the scope that you have to correct issues that come up. So definitely get separate audio tracks. Okay. However, when you're ready to go onto some better quality sound and video, you can look at some other options. So Riverside FM, in the research I've done, is the best quality. It is the one that allows you to have 4K video. Now, most people won't need 4K. 4K is a lot bigger than high res, which is 1920 by 1080. 4K is 4 times high definition. So let's backtrack a bit. Why does video even matter? Now, Riverside FM is great because you can record it as a WAV file, as a really high quality WAV file. And even the video you can record as 4K instead of high res. So why does this matter? Well, it depends what you want to do with your podcast. Now, these days, with video being king on social media platforms, with TikTok, with Reels, with everywhere really, it's a wasted opportunity if you don't film the video aspect of your podcast. If that's the thing that's going to stop you from doing a podcast, is having a video aspect, then just stick with audio. But there is just so much more that you can do with it if you do have the video. So if you do Riverside FM, you've got the possibility of doing 4K, subject to the quality of your cameras that you've got attached as well. So why that matters, I would say that really only matters if you're planning to make a YouTube video, because YouTube is, depending on what genre you're doing, generally needs to be super high quality and interesting to look at as far as the editing goes. So it is shown in high res, but what recording it in 4K does, it gives you the opportunity to create different looking scenes, if you will. It basically means that you can digitally zoom in and zoom out and have some movement when you're watching the video, because when you cut in to get a closer up look for some scenes, you're not going to lose quality. You've recorded at 4K, so that when you zoom in, it's still high resolution. Does that make sense? Okay, so that's really only if you're doing it for YouTube. If you're just sort of cutting it down to create your Reels and your TikToks, high res will generally be enough, and it all takes up more space on your hard drive. The other thing with Riverside FM is that it is recorded locally to your computers, and the value of that is that your internet issues do not get embedded and burnt into the final quality that you have. So it still matters to have a good quality internet connection so that you can conduct the interview without stopping and starting and, can you hear me? Can you hear me? You're frozen. Sorry, I didn't hear anything you said. All those sort of issues. But if you do have some glitches because of internet and maybe someone's looking a bit pixelated, but you can still hear them and you can still carry on with the interview, then the final quality will not have the pixelation because it is getting recorded locally to the computers and then getting uploaded to the cloud. So the thing to watch with platforms that record that way is to make sure that your guest doesn't just suddenly close at the end of the interview. So don't leave, don't go anywhere, let me just make sure it's all uploaded, and you'll be able to watch and see when it's 100% complete, and then you can say, okay, you can go now. So that's an important thing to watch for. Okay, so Riverside is good value and it's great quality. So yeah, that's definitely one to look at. Zencastr is also a brilliant option. It just doesn't do 4K, but it does all the other things as far as having a high quality audio and high definition video. And there is a free plan, which for a lot of people will be all they need for their podcasting journey. So Zencastr is brilliant. It is also one that records locally to your computer. So again, make sure that everybody had their video fully uploaded to the cloud before they go anywhere. Squadcast is another one that records locally to the computer and does high quality WAV files. However, I found it a bit pricey, so it's not one that I have looked into too far. Okay, so to recap, Zoom, is okay, but it's not brilliant. But sometimes it's the fallback option when people can't figure out the unfamiliar platforms, and it will just work and it gets you a recording. So if you've got that already, it's a place to start. If you want to step up and get better quality, Riverside would be your top one, especially if you want the extra resolution on your video. Otherwise, Zencaster is incredible for what it offers and what you can get even on the free plan. If you've got any questions, please reach out to me. You can send me a message via LinkedIn or at Livy Music Media, LIVVI Music Media on Instagram, or you can just send me an email. All my contact details are in the show notes. Let me know what you want to learn in future about podcasts, about lead generation, about YouTube, all of those things. I would love to make more episodes on the things that you need to know about. Remember to hit subscribe so I can see you on the flip side. Bye. So, what were your key takeaways from today? Did it raise any questions? What would you like to know more about? Let me know. You can contact me via social media or email. I don't care which way you use, just reach out to me. I'd love to chat with you. And remember, you can get access to lots of free podcast resources that will help you get started or help you improve your podcast at livymusicmedia.com/freebies. Hit subscribe because I want to see you again. But for now, go forth, be the awesome person you are, live the life you want to live, and have fun. You've got this. See you next time.
Show them who I be, unavoidable everywhere you see me. Reach my people, claim my power, there's no hierarchy. It is me and the universe, baby, rock solid and so ready to reach my people.
Hello, it's Livy here. Have you ever wondered about what the key elements are that make a podcast truly stand out? Or maybe you're thinking about starting your own special podcast and feel a bit overwhelmed and don't know where to start. Well, I have something for you. Introducing the Ultimate Podcast Checklist. Da, 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 da. It's a step-by-step guide that covers everything from the initial brainstorming to advanced growth strategies. It's the perfect companion for both new and seasoned podcasters. And the best part, it's absolutely free. Da, 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 da. To grab your copy, simply head to the show notes of this episode and you will find a direct link there, and then away you go. Remember, every podcast started with that initial spark and the right resource, so let the Ultimate Podcasting Checklist be yours.